We had Cliffe Knechtle on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's him and his son Stuart, they're great.
Very popular.
Yeah.
Very well known.
Amazing.
Yeah. And man, he like sat, well, not where you're sitting, but in the same seat, respectively to where we were at the time, of course. And he kept saying, I'm a dirty, rotten sinner. That's why, part of the reason, why I'm a Christian, because I know my God will forgive me, and I ask him for forgiveness. And I kept thinking of those words. And maybe I took them too literally, but he kept saying, like, he is someone who sins.
Yes.
And he prays for forgiveness, and God forgives him. Do you find yourself in a boat where, like, maybe you aren't always 100% abiding by the Ten Commandments?
Logan, I do, but I don't dwell on it much. And I don't mean to sound self-righteous or like I'm perfect, because I'm not. But my mind goes into, I get up in the morning and try to search my heart. God, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing it for the right reason? Am I doing it for the ego? Or am I? But when I can come back to that place of peace to say, okay, I believe I'm doing the right thing. Now I make mistakes, and you've got your wrong thoughts and all that stuff. But I come back to that place of peace and trust. I don't live from a place of a dirty, rotten sinner. And I love Cliffe, and they're amazing, but I don't live from that place. I live from a place that God He's made me righteous. It wasn't what I did, it's what Jesus did on the cross. And so I just live from a righteous standpoint than the other. And I don't mean that I'm not born into sin and all that as well, but I don't know. I see it a little. I don't think, for me, not talking about any others, I don't think it's helpful to just say, I'm no good, I'm unworthy, don't measure up. Well, none of us did, but when Jesus came, he made us worthy. I've accepted his forgiveness. I still make mistakes and ask for forgiveness, but I live from a God is pleased with me mentality. And I don't mean that arrogant, and I don't mean I'm perfect, but I think that's better. That helps me to know that otherwise, you know what, I don't know. To me, otherwise it just pushes you down and makes you do worse.
It doesn't seem like there's a exact science to how to be the perfect Christian, which is like kind of where it's like a little interesting. And I guess the reason I'm harping on that so much is because I think there's humanity, like a lot of humanity in people admitting that they aren't perfect. In fact, far from it.
Yes.
I think, by the way, that's Cliffe's ultimate point. I think this is my opinion. I think he's probably exaggerating a little bit to make people realize it's okay to not be 100%.
100%.
Right all the time.
Yes.
But I think his ability to relay that message is obviously effective in its own way, and I think a lot of people watch him and listen to him and his son and hear the message differently, but ultimately I think the principles are the same, which is something I really like about everything you're saying today, because even before he asked about God, it's the things you're saying, like the principles make so much sense. Like even just remove God from the equation for a second, what you're saying is logically makes sense.
Yes. Well, there's different routes for people that need different things, and I watch Cliffe on the campuses and stuff, and they're amazing and phenomenal. It's just this is what I feel like God's given me, but it is. A big part of it, Logan, is we're not here because we're perfect. I wouldn't be on this platform or anything. We all, have things we need to improve in. My thing is, am I better this year than I was 5 years ago? Am I growing? Am I forgiving more? Am I less judgmental? Am I better in my relationships? I think that's a big part of it, but not beating myself up just every day saying, you know what, I'm just this lousy sinner and I can't do anything right. I just come from a different point of view.
Gen Z is showing renewed interest in Christianity.
Yeah.
Do you think it's partially because of social media, the ability to distribute your content in meaningful ways across different mediums, or do you think there's something else? Like, why do you think Gen Z is so interested in Christianity all of a sudden?
I don't know if I have all the answers. I just think people are hungry for more. I think they feel like there's something missing. It may be, I'm sure it's a part of that too. I think all that's going on in the world, and you guys know more than me, but some, social media, some of this, you're not fulfilled just, rising high or competing or comparing and all that. That leaves you empty. And I think there's that void in every person that only God can fill. And, I think that's a big part of it, is just that I think they're realizing that you know what? You can't compete on social media. Everybody's seeing you're always one up. There's always a better pastor than there's always something. And so I think that's part of it. And just what's going on in the world. I think Gen Z, they see they can see through. They're authentic, and they want to. I think find God for themselves.
It's funny watching like the new generations come up and like rebelling against the things that we thought that they would adopt so much. Like a lot of them are learning really early because they're growing up on their phones.
Yeah.
They're growing up on iPads. And by the time they're like of age to start dictating their own usage, they're pushing it away. They're saying we actually don't think this is good for us. A lot of them are doing it with alcohol. A lot of them are doing it with the things that our generations were exploring because the people before us were telling them that they were bad and they weren't good and they didn't do them. So then, and you get this like pendulum effect.
Yeah.
Where each generation kind of acts a little bit differently than the one before it, but they are definitely coming back to church in a meaningful way. I think they're currently in church more than boomers. Boomers are there like 1.4x monthly on average, and Gen Z's there 2x. So, and I think you're doing a great job of meeting them where they are, but we got to get the Clippers going for you.
Clip Army.
It's really
the Clip Army.
We got to get you the Clipper.
Y'all got to help me.
Hey there, Impulsive viewer. If you like that clip, check out another one just somewhere around this video screen.